Now that we've talked about what a housing element update is, let's share some overall trends for the entire county. The Bay Area is a great place to live, but throughout the region and the county, there just isn't enough housing for all income levels, which has made costs go up. This has a lot to do with there being a lot of new jobs. We have a really strong economy and have had for decades. While some communities have more jobs and some less, overall we haven't built enough housing the past 30 years to keep a balance with the amount of jobs we keep adding. Since 2010, we've added over 100,000 jobs, but only 10,000 homes. Additionally, our population is growing naturally, with more people living longer and our children growing up and moving out into homes of their own. All this means that more housing is needed to keep things in balance, so there are homes to meet the need. It's easier to meet the need for market rate housing because developers will build it and those who can afford it will pay for it. But it's a bit more complicated when trying to make enough low to moderate income housing because those types of homes typically require more subsidies from the government to make the pencil out, and there's a limited amount of those to go around. Ultimately, not having enough housing across all incomes has meant rents and prices are higher. The Bay Area is known throughout the country as being an expensive place to live, and it's the same in the county. While there are lots of good jobs, some make a lot more than others, and wages for many haven't kept up with how costly it is for housing in our economy. A lot of people are spending 30% or more of their income on rent, which is considered cost burdened. In fact, 1 in 4 renters spend more than 50%, and of these renters, 89% are people of color. While rents have declined during COVID, renters already paying a lot toward rent haven't seen a lot of relief. Also, for every 6 low-wage jobs in San Mateo County, and a low-wage job these days is considered $20 an hour, we only have one home someone making that much can afford. Let's take a look at how all this actually plays out in our lives. The median income, meaning the middle spot between the lowest and highest wages earned in San Mateo County, is $121,000 for a single person. So if you're a grocery store clerk or barista making minimum wage, you'll make $29,000 a year based on a 40-hour work week. This is considered extremely low income because it is less than 30% of that 100% wage. And even with a low assumed cost of a $2,000 a month studio, you would be paying more than 80% of your income for your home. If you are a social worker, even you with an hourly wage of $45 an hour and an $86,000 a year salary are defined as low income because you make less than 80% of that 100% wage. And you too are almost cost burdened, paying nearly 30% of your income on rent. So what are some impacts? Overall, people are paying too much of their income on housing. This has resulted in overcrowding or people living with more roommates or family members than the home can hold. This can also mean people stay in unsafe or unhealthy living conditions because they have no other option. People are also moving further away to places with more affordable rents and home prices, resulting in longer commutes to work. And with more workers we depend on moving away due to high costs, we have more traffic. Sometimes people can no longer make the direct and indirect costs of traveling far for work pencil out, and they leave our communities for good. San Mateo County has always been a great place to live and raise a family, which is why so many have moved here over the years and so many are growing old here. With more people 55 and over than there were 10 or 20 years ago, we need to figure out how to support our seniors as they get older so they can stay at their homes and communities and make sure young people, new families, and our workers can find housing and want to move here because it's the housing they want. Ultimately, this housing element update provides an opportunity to develop policies and programs that respond to the needs of every community member. But the plan is only as good as what cities hear. That is why it is more important than ever that everyone, particularly those who are the most impacted by the housing shortage and how expensive it is to live here, add their voice to the process.